Hello and welcome to the 2018 Fall Media Day. My name is Jack Clayton and I'm going to be your host this afternoon. Before we get started, I'd like to say a quick thank you to all the coaches and players for participating, as well as a thank you to our AD, Joe Gunderson, and our ecom department for allowing this event to happen. So first off, I'm sitting here with the gymnastics team, Coach K, Hallie Robertson, and Anna Sorrell. As many of you probably know, last fall was a very special season for the gymnastics team. Behind Sydney Weeks, the Lady Ravens, including the two ladies sitting next to me, won their first ever state championship. Not only did they win the team competition, but Sydney Weeks completed her dominant campaign with the all-around state title. Now the returning members are ready for their second run. Coach K, the floor is to you.
Yeah, so we really like to encourage everyone to come out. Our first home meet will actually be at Mill Creek this year. That's where we're practicing. It's down in Old Olathe, like downtown Olathe. I don't know, I'm not from here. And it will be our Hawk Invite, which these girls also, they don't just practice with Olathe Northwest students. We also practice with Olathe West and Olathe East. And then they added this year, we're practicing with Olathe North and South. So there's about 50 people in our practice facility currently, but that'll be our first home meet, so you guys should come out. It will start at 6:00 p.m. We do have a lot of fresh faces on our team this year. Like Jack said, we did have Sydney Weeks. We lost her to graduation, but we do still have Brooke Elam and Hallie Robertson who are still on our team. So yeah, come out.
All right, reporters, questions to you.
All right, so how long have most of your gymnasts been doing gymnastics?
Okay, that's a good question. No, because they don't actually have to have a lot of experience to do on the gymnastics team. We have some girls who are cheerleaders who have only ever done floor, and we're teaching them kind of how to do all the other events. But some of our gymnasts, a lot of them have been doing it since they were, like our varsity girls have been doing it since they were, probably like 5 or 6. So, yeah.
Seeing as you only have 2 people on your gymnastics team, what are some pros of having a really small team?
Do you guys want to take that?
Currently, we have more than 2. It's about 8, I believe. Yeah. And so the small teams with last year, we only had 3 varsity. So when we won state, all of those scores counted up to every event, up to when we were going to win. We all had to participate, and Hallie did an amazing job. Brooke, Sydney, they all participated and really helped out with the team score to bump up and get that first place.
What are your favorite events to compete at?
I would say my favorite event is probably floor because I get really hyped up. It's really fun for me.
When I did gymnastics, I loved beam and floor. They were my best subject, or best events. And I always placed pretty high in those categories. And yeah, like Hallie said, floor is a way to really express yourself, especially with the music, because the other events you have to be really concentrated on yourself and performing the skills that you need. And yeah.
How often do you guys practice, and do you like practicing with other teams?
So we practice every day after school, Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 5:30. Practicing, I think, with Olathe East and Olathe West, we really, as coaches, try to treat everybody like we're one family, and we really encourage that camaraderie between our teams. However, when competition comes, we all wear different leotards. So it is a little bit weird for the first few meets, but we're cheering each other on, and it's really great to have, since we are such a small team, have such a large support system. There's about 30 girls on our 3 schools, so it's really fun to have. It's more than just 2 people cheering you on every day. It'll be 30 people plus all their parents. The parents cheer for each school as well, so it's a good experience.
Seeing as you won state last year, how do you plan to repeat that?
So, losing Sydney Weeks was actually a really difficult loss for us. She has broken a lot of records here at Olathe Northwest. We're just really trying right now to bring out the best team that we can. We're struggling a little bit with illness, so that's a little difficult. That's why Brooke actually isn't with us today. But really, until that first meet on the 13th, we won't know kind of how it's going to shape up. Crossing our fingers, we have the hardest workers in the district, so hopefully we'll be able to get another championship.
Any further questions? All right, thank you guys for coming out. Right after the break, we'll be with the tennis team. All right, welcome back to Fall Media Day. Now I'm joined by Coach Smith, Mallory Brown, and Sydney Moore from the girls tennis team. So last year, the girls tennis team made an exceptional run. The Lady Ravens sent 4 girls to the state tournament, including Mallory Brown, who won the first tennis medal at ONW since 2009 with her partner, Kristen Knipp. Now in his first season as the Lady Ravens head coach, Drew Smith and his tennis team look to continue improving.
That's what we're going to try to do. There we go. We're going to try to keep improving. We lost a few seniors to graduation, 3 of those 4 state qualifiers that you mentioned. But we've got a solid group returning, lots of varsity experience back, and we're really excited to get the season going.
All right, reporters, questions to you.
How does this team differ from teams in the past?
Well, this is my first year, so it's completely new to me. I did get to work with a lot of the girls over the summer and get to know them. So I kind of knew what I was working with before I stepped into the team. But maybe the girls can answer that better than me.
Well, I'd say this year, at least on varsity, and actually we're kind of all together practicing, which is nice. We have all the freshmen and the seniors and just every skill level together, and then like this year we have more of each grade too. Like on varsity last year we didn't have any freshmen, so it's kind of nice to be all together.
Our freshman year was a transition year for coaches, and the year before all the upperclassmen had a different coach the year before, and then we started with a new coach, and now 2 years later we have another one. So it's been really a learning experience. Like every coach is different, so you just have to find what coach-wise, what they can do to help us, and it's a little harder to transition, but we figure it out as a team. So.
Have you coached tennis in the past, and how did you land the head coaching job here?
So yeah, I was an assistant coach in Topeka for the boys team several years ago, and then when I started teaching here, I was the boys coach last season. And then I guess I just did such a great job that when Coach Brandstrom stepped down, they asked me to become the girls' coach, and I was very happy to take on that responsibility.
What traits do you look for in girls that you believe are important for a team?
Well, tennis is primarily a sport where just being an athlete is beneficial. If you have experience with like a hand-eye coordination sport, like if you were a volleyball player, basketball player, a softball player, those are good skills to have, but just being an athlete, and then we want good attitudes. We have a lot of fun at practice because that's what sports should be, is fun. And so we have a lot of fun, and so good attitudes are what helps make a team.
How does your team bond, even though tennis seems like an individual sport?
We do a lot of fun group games. Like Mallory mentioned, we are all practicing together this year, so all 20 of us are on 4 courts. So yeah, you guys want to talk about some stuff?
So even though it can be very individual, well, for example, I play doubles, so I have a partner, but Sydney will play number one singles. So she's on her own while she's playing, but we spend all of our time together in practice, and even in between points or games, we kind of discuss strategy, and some of us that have been on it for a few years, we know the players on other teams, so we can say, like, this person did that or whatever.
Like she said, I play singles, and it is an individual, but like in between, we are always cheering each other on and making sure that we're making the best decisions. And if one of your players on the side, one of your teammates on the sideline sees something your opponent's doing, they can tell you, hey, this girl's doing this, so watch out for that or play this. So it's really nice.
Since this is your first year teaching at ONW, what are some goals for the season?
Well, I think obviously repeating some of our success from last year, even though we lost some players. So Mallory and her partner who graduated got 12th in the state in doubles, and so finding a partner that she can have the same or more success with. I think last year at league we were 6th out of 14, so the goal is to do just as well or better, even though we're more than half new players on varsity.
Okay, this is for the players. Are your practices similar to last year's, or are they different with a new head coach?
Okay. Like I said earlier, coaches differ. This year, we are focusing on a lot more like specific drills. Last year, we played a lot of matches, which helped, but like focusing on the drills will really help to increase like how we play and everything and benefit the team in the long run.
Yeah. The only thing I have to add is that last year we were separated and this year we were together, and so that's just the whole dynamic of the team is different.
What is the mental side of tennis?
Tennis requires a lot of mental toughness, and that's why I'm glad our assistant coach, Coach Falls, is the school social worker. So she's our therapist. She's a fantastic asset to have, because tennis can be really frustrating. When you try something new, you're bad at it at first. When you try to change something, it's frustrating. You don't see those immediate results, and that can be really frustrating. So you definitely have to be mentally tough.
All right, thank you guys for coming out. That's all the time we have. We'll be right back after the break with the cross-country team. All right, welcome back to Fall Media Day. We're now joined by the cross-country team with Coach Sales, Leah Wellman, Parker Reese, and Amelia Sims. So last season, the cross-country team sent 2 runners, Ashton Dane and Leah Wellman, to state. And this offseason, there's lots of new faces and a lot of hope for improvement. Coach Sales, it's to you.
We have a really strong core group that are now seniors this year that have been with the program for a long time. And they have been training all summer, training really hard, putting in the miles. And we hope for really good things this year. Many of them are previous state performers, and so we hope to get a lot of them back to state this year. On the boys' side, we have quite a few seniors as well, many of which have transitioned from other sports that are finally kind of coming into their own in cross country, so we hope to see some really big things for them this year too.
All right, questions?
What are your favorite courses to run at?
I think my favorite course to run at is Rimrock. That's where the Kansas State meet is held. That's also where KU practices. It's just like so amazing, just running through the like big hills. They have like covered bridges you run through. It's really awesome.
I'd also have to agree, Rimrock's probably one of the greatest courses cross country has. It's a course that's specifically designed for cross country, which there's not a lot of those out there. So it's really great because it has a lot of variety and it's really pretty in the fall.
Yeah, probably Rimrock. It's just a beautiful course. It's out by Lawrence, by KU. It's got all these hills, and like when we run in the fall, the leaves change, and it's just super beautiful.
Do any of you hope to play cross country in college?
I mean, for me, I'm probably not going to do cross country in college, but I will keep up running on my own.
Yeah, I'm also not intending to run in college, but I'm going to be running on my own and continuing to stay fit. My goal is to run a marathon soon, so.
For the end of the season, I know the girls' team was close to qualifying for state. How do you think that this has motivated the girls into making it this year?
Okay, so last year 2 years ago we qualified for state as a team, missing by like 1 point is how we got there. So last year it was really close again. We're just really trying to get back out there. We have a lot of really good underclassmen girls that are going to be stepping up, and I'm really excited to see if we can qualify as a team this year.
Yeah, we have a lot of freshmen who are coming up who are going to be really good, and lots of the underclassmen have improved dramatically, so I feel like this year we might have a better chance of going to state just with all that.
What are the defining moments of a race?
Yeah, I think I'd say some of the defining moments are like the beginning. You have to like really set your pace to start off. You want to start out by getting ahead of like the mob of people, but you want to have a good pace you can sustain throughout the race. And then at the end, you have to take whatever energy you have left and run your hardest to the finish line and pass as many people as you can.
What will be your toughest meet this season besides Rimrock?
Oh, this year we're going to be going to a new course. We're going to be traveling out to Colorado for a meet. So in the past we visited Iowa for a cross-country meet. That's always been super tough. Getting to experience new competition is always a great experience. So I'm really excited for Colorado because we're going to be running in different environments. It's like a different type of atmosphere, and I'm really excited.
What are some long-term goals for this season?
For me, my long-term goal is to get a new personal record to get under 18 minute for my 5K. But I also just really want to see all of the new runners just come into their own, and I want to like help them, to show them how to run and how to improve.
I think long term, definitely our goal is to go to state, at least on the girls' side, and I think that we're working towards it, and we've been working towards it all season, and I think that we can probably get there.
My goal for my final season is kind of just to finish out the year strong. I've had a good start for the past two, but I really want to finish this one well, and I really want to see our girls' team pull through and go to state together.
All right, that's all the time we have for questions. After the break, we'll be back with the hype surrounding tonight, the soccer team. We are back with the boys soccer team. With me is Coach Graham, Chase Klusman, and Caleb Ragland. Last year, following a 15-0-2 season, the Ravens won their first Sunflower League title for boys soccer in Olathe Northwest history. Unfortunately, the boys fell a bit short in the opening round of the state tournament, but this season, however, the starting 11 is packed with experience. Seniors Chase Bluesman, Braden Beard, and Caleb Ragland, along with junior goalkeeper John Lindsay, are looking to improve upon last year's finish. The Ravens will go head-to-head with rival Olathe East for their annual opener tonight at 7, which, by the way, will be broadcasted live on the Raven Daily YouTube channel at 7 o'clock. Coach, any words?
Just excited to get the season kicked off. We didn't end quite the way we wanted to last year, but with the guys are using that as motivation to come back, and I know we're excited to get the season kicked off and have a tough game to start us off tonight, but I think we're all very excited to get it going. So.
All right, questions?
What is going to be your biggest obstacle this season?
I told the guys that if anything, I think it's us making sure that we keep grounded this year. If we play the way we're capable of and stay focused on our big goals that we're shooting for, I think the only thing that gets in our way is us. I think that if we stay together and play well, I think we'll be fine. So.
How do you think you will do compared to the previous seasons?
Fantastic question, Gage. So as far as previous seasons, every season's different, right? So you come in, we only graduated 5 or 6 guys last year, 2 starters, but even though we returned so much, we still have some young guys. So you're still trying to get the young guys used to playing and making sure that they're comfortable. I mean, we're starting 9 seniors tonight, so we have a lot of experience, but we still also have to bring those other guys in as well. So.
What new players do you think will benefit your team greatly this season?
You guys want to talk at all? Or
I can talk whenever you want.
I think that we're starting 1 freshman tonight, Landon Willett, and so I think he's going to be a big help to us. But we also have Tanner Schinkel, who's a junior, Mason Wynn is a junior, who I think those guys are going to, we didn't carry a huge roster this year, so we're expecting that everybody on our roster competes and helps us out. So.
How long are you guys' practices and how often do you practice?
You got it? Awesome. All right, we practice every day after school, 3:30 to 5:30. This season's I think it's a little different than most seasons. Everyone's coming out to work a little harder than normal, and I think we all want it more than we did any other season.
Yeah, last year was kind of a wake-up call, so we're a lot more focused and determined this year.
How has your coaching style evolved throughout the years?
I'm old, so it's evolved a lot. So I think you, as a coach, I think you have to reflect every year on what worked and what didn't work. So my philosophy really doesn't change. It's, it's kid-centered. It's making sure that we recognize why we're there and the importance of sports in general. But as far as what we do season to season, it depends on the personnel you have. It depends on, you still always have to reflect and think about these things worked really well last year, and we have some of the same kids, so we're going to try some of that, but these are things that we need to improve on. So the philosophy doesn't change, but the way in which we go about things may change depending on who we have and what the season is. So,
how does school season differ from club season?
I think school season, it's more, I think you have more pride with every game. Every time you put on the jersey, you're playing for your school versus just playing for your club. And this, the style of play is a little bit different. You're playing against older guys or younger guys. Normally, when you're younger, you're playing against guys that you're not used to pushing you around and stuff. And when you're older, you can kind of push them around a little more. But yeah.
I have a question for the players. With the 10 seniors starting this year for varsity, how are you going to provide leadership for the younger players?
I think this season, we have lots of seniors who all work hard, they know what they're doing. I think if all the seniors kind of lead together, I don't think there's any specific people that are going to lead the team. It's just going to be more of a senior, over half the team seniors. We're just all going to lead and teach the younger ones what we've learned throughout the years.
What are the games you guys are most looking forward to playing this year?
The games we're looking most forward to would be Olathe East, Olathe West, mostly those two, but then the rest of the Olathe schools too. and then a state championship.
Does the team have any traditions that they do every season?
That you can talk about.
We make the freshmen do bring the waters and stuff. They bring the cones. That's like most sports. We always warm up. We do the lines and we circle up, and then we do like high fives to the left, and just wraps around the circle, and then you go someone yells Ravens and someone else goes That's more hype than that.
It's a really bad description.
Any further questions? All right, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be with the football team.
What time is it? What time is it? Didn't even get to cross.
And we are back. I'm now joined by Coach Hafner, Cole Manning, and Andrew Dumas with the football team. So after claiming their first playoff victory against Shawnee Mission South, the football team underwent some changes in the offseason. If you weren't yet aware, we have a brand new coach, Aaron Hafner, coming from Luther College in Decorah, Iowa. Along with the new coach, the Ravens have made some personnel changes due to graduating seniors and have completely revamped their offensive and defensive schemes. Their first game is next Friday, the 31st, at Manhattan High School. Coach, any first words?
I think the biggest thing is we're getting better every day, and I think that anytime you have a new coaching staff, and there's a few guys that are back, but as far as an offensive scheme and defensive scheme, as you mentioned, there's a lot of learning going on, and every day is getting better. And as soon as we can, learn terminology and learn how we're going to do things technically and different things like that, I think you're going to see some big improvement out of our team throughout the season, and just preparing the right way for our opponent, and just playing hard, good, disciplined football.
All right. Any questions?
What are your hopes for your first season coaching at Northwest?
Oh, I think the biggest thing is just go out and compete every Friday night and do our very best. We have a lot of inexperienced players. Graduated a lot of really good seniors last year, just watching film and different things, and doing some research. I'm super happy with the development of our sophomores and our juniors to help our senior class out. Our seniors have been great. We have 24 total seniors. So the biggest expectation is just from the day we started at the end of May till the very last game of the season, that we just keep getting better every week. If we do that, we're going to have some success.
Why did you decide to make the change to high school from college?
It's a good question. I think the biggest reason is, you get to a point, being a head college coach at a lower end Division III school, you have to make a choice, and it's about your priorities in life. I think for me it became, trying to not be gone all the time in recruiting and spending more time with my kids and my wife, and I still get an opportunity to coach great young men and have an impact on their life, regardless what level I'm coaching. And we have family back in the Kansas City area, and this was an awesome fit. I had a couple different interviews at some places, interviewed here, and this is where we want to call home for sure.
Players, how is your practice different from this year compared to last year?
Last year we kind of just did some individual, and then we do team, and we just do it for
offense and then defense. This year it's more detailed, and we have 5-minute periods. And at first we start doing drill work, then we'll go into 15 minutes a team, and then we'll do special teams, and then we'll move over to the other side of the ball depending on whether it's offense or defensive day.
What has been your favorite change with the new coaching staff?
I think that they try to bring all the players together. Like last year, it was more divided between like seniors, juniors, and sophomores. Last year, they would have like sophomores on the other side of the field, and like seniors and juniors would be isolated. Like now, we have competitions every now and then, and everything's together like we form.
When you look, this is for the players. When you look at your football career at ONW, what do you consider your top highlight?
Probably winning the first playoff game last year.
I'll say the same.
Since this is your first year coaching at ONW, what do you plan to offer the team?
I think the biggest thing is, I guess the biggest reason why I'm in coaching is just to help them achieve their goals and get to where they want to be athletically, academically, socially, hold them accountable for those things. And, you know, if these two young men, which I know they both want to go play college football, it's part of my responsibility as their coach to make sure that, that I do everything I can to get them the highest level they possibly can. And that means I get to watch their Twitter, which we joke around a little bit with, and different things to make sure they're keeping that the right way and doing things the right way academically to make sure that they don't ruin opportunities and that we can give them the best opportunity they can to go reach their goals.
What are some of your season goals?
Well, I mentioned earlier just improving. I've been, this is my 22nd year of coaching, and I don't think I've ever said I want to do this or do that as far as records and different things like that go. We're going to have some success if we stay healthy. I really believe that. I think that our young kids are really getting better to give us some depth. These two young men have really done a great job with being good leaders and putting us in a good position to go out and compete on Friday nights.
What is the biggest change that you've made to the program since last year?
I don't know, because I wasn't here last year, but I would say the biggest difference is we're meeting every day before practice. We're watching a lot of film. I think that's been a little bit different for these guys. More of a college-type model where we're watching film, we're teaching in the classroom before we actually go out and actually do the drill work and put our schemes in. I think it's helped us to visually see that. I think that's been a big change for them. Some of them love it, some of them hate it, but we don't care. We're going to do it anyway because it's the right thing to do, and it'll help us improve faster.
Any further questions? All right, after this short break, we'll be back with the back-to-back state champions, the volleyball team.
This could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us. Could be us. Say please. Could be us. Say please. Could be us. I bought like Tracy McGrady.
Welcome back. Now we're joined by Coach Linth, Abby Copeland, Lindsay Heller, and Josie Peterson from the volleyball team. So after winning the state championship in 2016, the expectations were enormous for last season's volleyball squad. Despite an early loss to Blue Valley North, the Lady Ravens dominated the remainder of their 2017 schedule. Thanks in part to senior leadership from Taylor Cooper and Jaden Chase, the team was able to blaze through the state tournament on their way to back-to-back state champions. This year, with 7 returning players, the Lady Ravens are once again on the hunt for a state title. Coach, any first words?
First, I wanted to thank the e-com department for putting on this event. I think you guys do a great job. And then also take a second to thank the athletic director, Joe Gunderson, and the principal, Chris Zook, for all the support they give the volleyball team throughout the year. I guess just quickly, I'm really excited for this season to get going. I know we have a lot of expectations, but we also know that there's a lot of good, talented teams this year, so we're going to have to hit it pretty hard in the gym.
All right, questions?
So how do you seniors feel about stepping into leadership roles for this year?
Personally, I'm excited to be a senior and get to have the opportunity to just really hold the team accountable and keep everyone going, because I think that we can be really successful this year, and I'm just looking forward to just helping get there.
We definitely lost some good leadership from last year, but it's exciting for us to get to step in and kind of establish the new team roles, because everyone has their part to play on the court. So whether that's the seniors leading or being there for support, it's awesome that we get the opportunity to lead that.
What do you guys like about playing high school ball over club?
About high school volleyball, I like all the home games and getting to play other schools and seeing all your friends there, and just having the school really support you and having school pride.
I like being able to play with the girls and see them every single day instead of club. You only really see them 2 to 3 times a week, so you get able to build a stronger relationship, and you see them in school too, and just playing with for your school.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's totally different, high school versus club. You build such a strong bond with all the girls that you play high school season with, because you're in the gym together every single day. And then it's cool after season's over to see everyone in the hallway, and to build such a big program. You already have so many people that are familiar faces to look at, from the freshman team all the way up to the varsity team.
This is for the players. What are some of your favorite team bonding exercises?
Well, we like to do team dinners and stuff, and we go bowling together. And before our first game, we always go to Shawnee Mission Park, just as girls, and we all bring breakfast. After practice, sometimes we'll all just go to Subway and get dinner. We like to go to the football and soccer games together. So, yeah.
Half price sushi Wednesday is a thing we do.
Can you guys explain to us what the Dig Pink event is all about?
Okay, so the Dig Pink event is where all the Olathe schools come together, and you play 2 games on one night, and the night before we have a dinner, which consists of one person coming in and explaining what breast cancer is, and then we get a dinner and we get a gift basket. And then at the Dig Pink event, we varsity plays first, and then after varsity you have a ceremony where all the players and coaches or anyone else can walk a person that has breast cancer, died of breast cancer, or survived of breast cancer, and we walk them out, and it's just a big ceremony. And then after that, JV plays. Or no, varsity plays again. So, yeah.
And Lindsay did a great job of kind of explaining the event and all the stuff that happens. I just wanted to add that throughout the country, there's thousands of Dig Pink events. When Olathe started this, our goal was to try to raise as much money as possible. And out of the 1,000 events last year, these girls and the Olathe schools, we were ranked 9th in the country in the amount of money that we raised, over $10,000 in that one event.
Other than winning state, what was some of your season highlights from last year?
Coach Linth falling off the hitting box at practice.
I knew that was going to come back.
Winning state was obviously, up there, but the state tournament itself, just bonding with the team, that was really fun. Going to Omaha and spending the weekend with the girls, it's just a lot of fun getting to go to our hotel rooms after we play and hanging out and doing escape rooms and everything because we're all really good friends.
My favorite, obviously, is the state championship. But when we went to Omaha this last year, we did escape rooms. We divided the teams into 2 groups. It was interesting because we didn't go into the rooms, but we could hear what was going on. And the one room was like dialed in focus. This is how we get through. And then I'd walk over to the other room, and it was usually Lindsay. But they were singing songs, and then they would start singing other songs and everything. And
a duet.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious to see the different dynamics. But I think they all had a lot of fun, and it was a good bonding experience for them.
Other than making it to state, what are some short-term goals for the season?
The team hasn't really taken time to sit down and discuss goals, but I think that we can all agree that we have a lot of good teams in the Sunflower League, so it's our goal to be good competitors within our league and then make it to the state tournament this year again.
What is going to be your biggest challenge this season?
With losing the Gatorade Player of the Year and 3 All-State starters, our biggest challenge is going to be having all of us stepping up and filling the role of leadership and having to fill all of those spots because they're all very dominant players, so that'll be our biggest challenge.
So I know that you guys have some kind of, is it a fundraiser or some kind of event where you guys invite some of the guys to play volleyball? Can you explain how that came to be and how that's going to all go down?
Okay, you start.
Okay, well, so like during homecoming week, there's like a powder puff game where girls can play football. And we wanted to do an event where guys can play volleyball. So each of the varsity girls made up their own team of guys, and we're going to have a volleyball tournament.
I stole the idea from Gardner.
All right, any more questions? Okay, we'll be back after the commercial break with our final team, the golf team. All right, welcome back to our final sport of the day. We're here with Coach Gilday, Julia Klein, and Molly Gonzalez from the golf team. So the 2017 golf campaign was filled with success. Senior Rosie Klausner finished within the top 5 on several occasions and was followed by impressive performances from her sister Victoria and teammates Julia and Molly. To cap off the season, 5 Ravens finished inside the top 54 at the state tournament, including a 5th place finish by Rosie Klausner. Luckily for the Lady Ravens, the returning roster is stacked with talent. Coach, it's over to you.
Perfect. So we are looking forward to this year. We did lose 2 seniors. Rosie was our star player last year. She did great. Good inspiration for the girls on the team, and I think inspired some of the girls to really get out this summer and work on their games. Going into the season, I'm excited. I feel like a lot of the players that we had on JV are kind of already pushing for those varsity spots, and then the top players from last year are still, proving that they are the top players. So the goal for us is really just to keep those young ones pushing so the older ones feel like they have to continue to work on their games. But we're looking forward to a good season.
All right, any questions?
Oh yeah, how are you guys' practices structured every day after school?
How are they structured?
Yeah, how are they structured?
It varies day by day. We do go out in the rain and practice, which I think is different than some other schools. My background is playing fairly competitive golf, so I do structure the practices a little bit different. For example, this last practice that we had, we ended the practice with a team activity of putts, where they all had a putt, a 3-footer, and they all had to make it in a row. So it put a lot of pressure on them. So the practices from last year to this year, last year was my first year. I didn't really want to throw that at them the first year, to be honest. My first year was really kind of get to know the players. They got to know me, learning each of their games and kind of the style that they play. This year's, there's going to be more pressure involved to prepare them for the tournaments. But we always have range balls that are available. We always have a station for putting. Every day the girls go out, they're required to make 53-footers and make 55-footers every day. And I think that that's really important. That's going to help our scoring averages get lower. And then we do get out on the golf course. We at least try to play once a week. Courses around here are very busy, so it is difficult to get them on the golf course, but we do a pretty good job. We practice mostly at Falcon Ridge, so they've really been supportive of our team.
What's your favorite course to play at?
Me?
The players and you, I guess.
Okay, so we don't play this course during the season, but my favorite course is Shadow Glen. It's probably one of the nicest in Kansas City, so it's just...
Yeah, mine's also Shadow Glen. We used to be members out there because we lived there, but we're not anymore. But it's so pretty, and I would say it's definitely the nicest course around here.
How many tournaments do you guys have this year?
That's a great question. We have 8 regular season tournaments and then regionals and state. There are a couple other ones that we may throw in there, maybe not for our top varsity players, but to get some of the JV transitioning into varsity. And then we have about 6 or 7 JV tournaments that we'll have.
Coach, who do you think stepped forward and really became a team leader this year?
Ooh, that's a great question. I actually think we have a couple girls that really kind of stepped forward. Victoria Klausner's a junior. She's a great player. She's played for a long time. She's really kind of set the pace, her and her sister both, for the program. So I feel like, Rosie's gone now. She's kind of stepped up a little bit out of the shadow. She's definitely going to be a leader. But these two next to me, they're seniors, and they really guide the younger ones and take them under their wing. So it's a very different feel this year than last year. Not that last year wasn't a great feel, but this year feels a little bit more like a family. And I'd say really the upperclassmen have. There's a couple of freshmen sophomores that have also stepped up.
Seeing as golf is an individual sport, how does the team stay close?
Great question. I would say, and you girls can answer too, but for me, any team that I've played on, it's been very important to be a family atmosphere, and making sure that the girls stay positive, making the girls know that this is a team sport. You can play it as individual because they're scored. We score individually and by team, but just how we treat each other, knowing that when you go out to practice and you make a mistake, your teammates aren't going to laugh at you and go to school, and that's just the type of people that we have on our team. And I think it does start with leadership, so I'm not taking the credit for that, but I think our seniors kind of created that themselves from last year to this year.
When we're going into a tournament, I'm usually thinking okay, how can I score my best to help my team? So it's individual, but then you think of it in the big picture, all right, how can all of us do our best to really push through and place first. Yeah.
And for golf, for at least school golf, our rounds are very, very long because there's so many people that are playing. So just seeing one of your teammates on the course on a different hole, or just even say if you're coming in it's just a really great feeling because you know that, like, oh, there's my teammate. Like, I can talk to them, see how they're doing. Because in your, like, group you're playing in, there's a lot of pressure, and it's stressful.
What are some personal goals you have for this year?
One of my goals is to break 80 in a tournament. I'd say another one would have to be non-golf related. I just want to get super close with the girls. I mean, I already am, but there's a lot of new girls this year that really stepped up. And just like seeing their faces in the hallway, like I'll say hi to them, and just bonding with the team is one of my biggest goals.
Yeah, for me, it's similar to that. I don't really have like a number goal. I just want to like do my best because this year I'm like more focused on just enjoying my last year and helping the transition for Victoria and Kylie, which is another junior, for next year to be as smooth as possible and just so they're ready.
How do you plan to improve from last season?
Well, for me personally, I played in a lot of the summer tournaments. I know Julia did too. And also a lot of the girls on the team this year, last year, they played also, and they've all improved a lot. But I think just playing and like being on the course is like a huge part of improvement because you can practice, but really you don't know what it's like until you're actually on the course playing.
I'd say for me, as a coach, from last year to this year, last year was kind of getting the girls' techniques a little bit better. And this year I feel like throughout the summer they prepared for the season. And because they put in that work and effort, going into the season is now more about how can we get the ball in the hole faster instead of focused on how can I get the ball in the air, or how can I make the ball go straighter. So it's a little bit different perspective, and I'm very excited about that because learning how to hit a golf ball and actually learning how to get the ball in the hole are very different things. And when you step up to play in a tournament, you really have to know how to get the ball in the hole. It doesn't matter how it looks. So I think for us this year, that's going to be one of our goals, is to teach all the kids on the team how we can get the ball in the hole faster.
What kind of specific things do you guys do, both inside and out of practice, to improve your game?
Out of practice, this is, off topic, but I have a simulator in my garage, and I've had the other girls have come over, and I mean during winter and everything, we go over there and just hitting that, because obviously you can't hit during the winter. But in practice, I'm really focused on having a routine, so I can, if I'm on the range and I'm going up to hit a shot, I'm going to practice that same routine so then I can use that on the golf course.
Yeah, mine's pretty similar to that. I don't really have anything else to add. It's just making sure the off season that you're still kind of just practicing, even though it's going to be more irregular times you're going out, because during the season it's every single day. So just trying to stay consistent with it.
All right, and with that, I think we're going to wrap up our Fall 2018 Media Day. Thank you again to all the coaches and all the players who sacrificed their time to be here today. And one final thank you to our instructor, Mr. Cooper. We couldn't have done this without him. Make sure you tune in tonight at 7 o'clock to catch the live broadcast of the soccer game between Olathe East and Olathe Northwest. For Landon Daniel and the rest of the Convergence team, I'm Jack Clayton. Have a great day.
Working harder, making better, faster makes us stronger.